Hey everybody, Stuart Macadam here, and in today's video I'm going to take the time to discuss some of the things that have been happening on the Facebook ads platform recently, some of the learnings that I've gained out of the platform, some of the gurus that I've been sort of keeping an eye on, having a look at, some of the things that they've been saying that are true, and some of the things that they're saying that's nothing more than scaremongering and trying to capture attention, sell a course, sell a program, sell their time. So welcome to today's video. I guess the first thing is one of the biggest things that I've begun to discover at the moment is the power of lookalike audiences. That has been something which has really captured my attention a lot recently. If you have a look at people that have, people that have visited somebody's website, people that have had a look at the platforms that you are operating on, whether it's your Facebook page, whether it's your Instagram page, whether it's visiting your website, adding an item to a cart, purchasing a converted customer in another way that's converted offline, whatever it may be, there has been such a gradual and rapid development towards using lookalike audiences. And particularly with the Apple iOS 14 changes that have begun to kick in, you really are beginning to see a lot more people start to use them in a way that is really just sort of like stacked. So rather than having just one lookalike audience now, it's not uncommon to have 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 7 lookalike audiences being used in one set of targeting. And that's something that is quite interesting to observe in terms of overall results. I actually just set up a client campaign the other day with this very approach and was quite amazed to see that there was about, initially it was quite a slow uptake, but yesterday and today there's been an absolute flurry and inquiry of people making requests. It's a real estate company which helps people get started with property investment. And we've used multiple lookalike audiences, and the cost per lead is so much lower than it ever was in the learning stages when we were using interest-based targeting. It was so much lower, particularly for 2 ads. And that's the thing that I have kind of noticed now with the all of the changes that have taken place is it's really just 2 ads or 3 ads that really tend to absolutely steal the show, whilst the rest of the ads disappear into the algorithm abyss, if you will. And that's something to sort of keep in mind and sort of keep an idea about, is that there's no harm in making sure that you are targeting as broad base as you possibly can. But if you've got enough information from your different lookalike audiences, if enough people have visited your website, made inquiries, if you've got a reasonable sized customer list, then by all means use those and make sure that you can get that information into Facebook so that the artificial intelligence can be used to start capturing those audiences. And that kind of brings me on to the next point as well. What are a lot of people saying right now about the iOS changes? I mean, I just had a video that popped up in my news feed, actually my YouTube feed, by Man Social Media Marketing, iOS 14 update. Is this the end of Facebook ads? And if I just type in Facebook ads, with iOS 14, there's like a whole flurry of panicky, scary, panic-driven headlines that really just are starting to irritate me like no tomorrow now. Like one of the things that I'm seeing now, did Apple just kill Facebook ads? How to combat iOS 14? Facebook ads destroyed by Apple iOS 14 updates. Facebook ads, mistakes to avoid in 2021 after iOS 14. iOS 14 ad things for Facebook, how to adjust Facebook ads targeting for iOS 14. So now you're starting to get a a lot more sensible. But you look at those top headlines and you're just beginning to see it everywhere. There are so many people right now, gurus, experts. We've also got, sort of people that are just, sort of local people that don't even advertise on Facebook, talking about it as if it's some sort of doomsday prophecy. And thanks very much to Matthews, Arakia, Raj. I hope I said that correctly. Hello from India. Great to have you on board with us. Very excited to be discussing a couple of things. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've got any questions that you have about Facebook ads or anything that you'd like me to discuss, please don't hesitate to pop it into the comment box below. I see you've just given a little wavy there, so thanks very much for that. Very nice of you. So one of the things that I'm going to sort of begin talking about is on the iOS 14 changes, is that with the remarketing side of it, yes, it has been blunted quite a bit. And for the results that you are seeing, yes, there is going to be some statistical modeling. So the results that you might see in your business manager account may not necessarily be a reflection of what you have, cash in the bank, purchases, adds to cart. So one of the recent examples that I can share with you there is I actually ran a lead generation campaign the other day just as a little test to try and get more people subscribed to my email marketing list. And with that, I noticed the next day after turning off one ad set, there had actually been a lead that was recorded. Now, I opened that up and of course everything was empty because $0.00 had been spent on it. And there wasn't any email address, there wasn't any name or information or anything like that. And that is part of the reason why the statistical modeling is so fantastically unreliable with Facebook right now, and why it is so important to constantly be checking this data and this information against what you've actually got in other tracking software. So my biggest piece of advice is to use the tracking software that is available at the moment. If you've got a really big budget, then go and have a look at a platform like Hyros. If you have a smaller, more modest budget, there are plenty of cost-effective alternative options available to you as well. So have a look at that and see how it can help you with tracking accurately, because it's becoming more and more of a thing, even with e-commerce shopping too. You're not always going to get the results that may come through from retargeting, and also people that have opted out of the tracking as well, and cold tracking and also retargeting as well. So that is really one of the big things that has arisen recently from the statistical modeling. It's something to be sort of very careful and mindful of. And if you've got software that can plug into it quite accurately, by all means, go ahead and use that to your advantage. And if you are running retargeting ads and campaigns, make sure that you're using some sort of tracking software. And ideally, you want to try and keep as much information that's as measurable as possible if you are using Facebook ads and you're not using outside tracking software. And by that, I mean having a look at running lead generation ads in Facebook, where you can genuinely see whether or not the leads have completed everything, whether it's a real one or whether it's statistical modeling. Having a look at messenger campaigns, having a look at engagement-based campaigns, anything that you can possibly think of that keeps people on the Facebook platform is going to be to your advantage. Because right now, having a look at all these videos, I'm just not really chuffed at all about it. Having a look at a lot of this sort of like scare tactics, iOS 14 killing Facebook, how to adjust it successfully. What I've essentially found works the best is that you've got to stack your lookalike audiences big time. If you're using them, you can't just use one or two anymore. Use a minimum of 3, ideally 5 if you can. Other thing is trying to keep as much information as possible based on Facebook. So with video views, with engagement-based posts, lead generation forms, messenger campaigns, trying to keep as much as possible on there and not off the platform as well. And if you haven't verified your domain name yet, then please get someone to help you with that if you don't know how to do it. If you haven't configured your custom conversions, get some help from someone that can do it for you reasonably quickly if you don't have the time, and look at everything that you possibly can to make sure that your two-factor authentication is on for security purposes. Then that way you're kind of just protecting yourself against some of the more negative consequences that can come up as a result. Now, that kind of brings me over to a couple of questions that people have had about courses that I would recommend for Facebook ads and social media marketing. And if you want to have a look at some of the past reviews that we've YouTube ads masterclass, we've really got a whole range of things that we are covering at the moment, and that's something that is really sort of beginning to sort of stack up. We've also recently gone through the traffic and funnels course. It was, I can't remember the cost of the course, but their whole motto was it eats $997 courses for breakfast. So we're going to be reviewing that as well and having a look at that a little bit more. But if you've got some sizable budget, I would say look at going and investing in Sam Ovens's course, Consulting Accelerator. That's a really, really good one, and it's got a huge amount of training on Facebook ads and how to really utilize them properly. With all the changes that have taken place recently, the iOS changes are a little out of date. Like, for example, a lot of the information-based tools that used to be available are no longer there. And also the iOS 14 changes as well has affected how some of the setup things were done by them as well. So have a look at Consulting Accelerator by Sam Ovens. If you're wanting to get a more cost-effective course, go and have a look at Strong Brand Socials by KW Content. That provides a pretty reasonable entry-level overview of everything. And if you've got a bit more of an advanced knowledge, I would say to do your own research and go and have a look at what's out there right now, because there have been a couple of courses that have come my way that I've really wanted to do, but just sort of haven't had the time and been very time poor with. And there have been others that I've looked at and considered buying, but actually haven't, because a lot of those are covered quite comprehensively already on the Facebook, not the Facebook, on here on YouTube as well. People have actually said that we are how to set up the business manager, for example. There was a course that came up a couple of weeks ago that they were trying to sell for $20, and whether or not they had any success for that, I don't know, because I haven't seen the ad again. I only saw it the once. There was another ad which came on for how to set up custom conversions, how to bulletproof your ads with the iOS 14 training. I actually did stumble across Blake McCullough's book from Growth. He's the founder of Growth Marketing Systems, and they are based in Sydney, Australia. Blake and his partner Simon Train, they have sort of really developed a very sort of good reputation and have a strong foundation for not developing a cookie cutter approach for social media marketing campaigns, and they've really gotten themselves up to speed across all of the advertising platforms, which has been quite impressive. And I'm certainly interested to have a look at some of the stuff that they are doing. I've downloaded Blake's free ebook, so I might review that at some stage and have a bit of a discussion around what he talks about in the book. And there's also a couple of people too in different sort of marketing agencies around the world whose work I've seen that I'm really, really keen to take a bit of a nosedive into it. But funnily enough, like as a marketer, one of the things that really puts me off actually giving someone my information is whenever they put the word free in front of their training, in front of an ebook, in front of a webinar, in front of anything, because I often know that as a marketer, the end result that they're trying to get is to get me to become either a customer or someone that purchases their course or book or whatever. And Russell Brunson is probably the prime example of that at the moment. Like, I've used ClickFunnels before. I haven't been persuaded by how effective it is compared to the cost. I think there are sort of better, more effective alternatives. And you might disagree with that. You're more than welcome to. But the biggest thing that he's sort of really advertised and highlighted is the potential for upsells that come with free giveaways and free costs and all of that stuff. And another example of that is probably Alric Heck with his YouTube ads masterclass. I mean, I still get Alric's ads all the time, and if he's out there listening, or if he ever stumbles across this video, one of his team does, I just let your videos run past 30 seconds every single time now, because I want him to learn the hard way that, you know, sort of if you're going to keep on showing me the same ads, there's going to be quite a serious cost. And no, I'm not going to sign up to your advanced YouTube course. I learned quite enough from the $47 masterclass. Thank you very much. And one person I must say that I was a little bit impressed with was a lady who I'm just pulling up onto my screen right now called Jana Bishop. And the thing that's great about Jana Bishop is she's actually identified a very common problem in the marketplace, which is you have digital marketing agencies out there that are charging way too much for their services and delivering way too little and not getting you the results that you need. So what she's doing is she's allowing you to do the ads yourself, and she'll personally sit down with you for an hour and get help with fixing your Facebook Ads Manager, whether you may have problems with the iOS 14 changes, whether it is with ads that are not converting, whether it is having trouble getting your images sized and scaled correctly. It really is sort of wide open. And I have been actually very tempted to book in a call with her, not because I need help with my Facebook ads at all or any of my clients' ads, but more because I'm actually just genuinely interested to see what she would take me through in that hour session. And, if you go to her landing page, what these results look like. One of the most informative sessions. After working with an agency, she helped me discover we could get all the info back, duplicate the data, blah, blah, blah. After the iOS update, getting your account secure, imagine if you could navigate it like a pro. So really, she's addressing this common problem that a lot of people that are wanting to get onto the Facebook platform and, really have a proper understanding of what Facebook ads are, particularly in 2021. She's really just severely trimming back the costs of what it would take to get on there. And that's something which has been quite captivating, and I'm really interested in seeing how well she does with that. And I might actually reach out to her and see if I could get her on the channel as well, which has been something that I've wanted to do, is get sort of people that have run Facebook ads in different niches and different platforms and get them onto the platform here and have them on for a discussion. And that sort of brings me up to the next point, which is what would these discussions look like? And the real answer for that is I'm interested to know how Facebook ads people are genuinely helping their target market and what they are doing differently from someone like myself, and what sort of benefits it has for their customers, what their customers' end goals are, and how they've actually gone about creating an end-to-end framework that can get them the results. Now, some of these agencies are sort of your one-stop shop for digital marketing, doing everything from websites all the way through to writing email copy and like running the Facebook ads. Some of them may just specialize in Facebook and Instagram ads. Others may just specialize in YouTube ads, Google ads. It's actually a wide open game right now. And hearing the perspective of how they do things is always quite intriguing. I can remember a couple of times where I've taken over an account which another agency has been running, and just having a look at all of the things which they've been doing, some of the things which have worked very well, some of the things which haven't been as successful, and seeing how success can be added onto the platform that's already been laid, or whether it needs a complete structural overhaul. So that it's going to be very interesting, and I'd really like to open up the floor to a lot of digital marketers that might be on the platform at the moment, and maybe subscribe to this channel, watching this video. If you believe that you can add value and you can give a bit of a rundown as to what industry you help, probably particular industries would be the most interesting to me. I'd love to hear from you and get you on the channel for a discussion. And that is kind of bringing us towards the end of the video right here. It's been good to sort of talk to you so far. The biggest thing that I want to sort of, I guess, wrap off with is having a look at how you can adjust your business marketing budget when your country or area or city or town or whatever it is not operating at full capacity. Right now in New Zealand, we're in a level 4 lockdown, so everything except the essential services are open. People are working from home for the most part, and some people aren't able to work at all. And that's something that is obviously impacting a lot of businesses. And there have been people that have reached out and said, you know, if I can't actually work right now, what would your advice be for Facebook ads marketing? And one of the first things would be really just have a look at how you can keep awareness for your business brand up, because there are a lot of businesses right now that are pulling the plug on all sorts of advertising. So if you're able to keep people front of mind with the marketing that you're doing, look at everything you can to possibly do that. Number 2 is look at ways to get leads in. If you've had a quiet period leading up to the lockdown, then look at how you can grow and expand your business out by generating some leads, even if it's on a restricted or a reduced budget. If you can get jobs booked in for when things open up again, you're going to be in a much better position than those who are kind of just going in blind. And the last thing would be as well, if you, whatever level your business can safely operate at, look at what your ad strategy would be for each particular level. New Zealand's got, you know, a couple of levels of lockdowns. So if I was a New Zealand business, say I ran a cafe, I would look at what my marketing strategy would be for each level. And I would also look as well at what sort of budget in New Zealand to have a look at the financial support that you can get for the wage subsidy and any other types of support and assistance to see yourself through. If you're living overseas, I would say likewise as well. See what support and help is available, even if it is just someone who is offering their services that could help your business at a discounted price or for free, whether it's through a webinar, a workshop, or a boot camp. Just go and have a look at it. So hope you found this video useful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to leave a like down below. Always helps with sharing this video around to as many people as possible. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.